Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. This is Neil with Portal to Ascension. How are you all doing today? We're in store for an epic event, a beautiful presentation today, and I'm glad to be here with you all because, as you know, a lot of the productions and the videos that we put out on YouTube are pre-records of conferences that we've done. But around once to twice a week, but sometimes we skip a couple of weeks, we go live. So I'm excited because this is a live interaction event where we get to communicate and have the energy in the moment and really get to just have a conversation about what we're going to be discussing today, right? And I'll get into that in just a moment. But before we begin, let me just go ahead and do a couple of quick announcements of some upcoming events on Portals to Ascension. First of all, this whole week, you may have noticed if you're on YouTube, we've actually been going live quite a lot. This whole week only started, I guess, on the weekend, right? So, and tomorrow we have 3 live events on the Portal to Ascension YouTube. We start at 10 a.m. with an interview with a walk-in, right? Then at 11 on the Watchers Talk TV, I am going to be doing a 1-hour freestyle spoken word workshop where I'm going to explain the meaning behind my spoken word pieces and also do a little freestyle poetry, but decipher it because I have a lot of stuff on ancient history, talk about what these topics are. And then after that is my annual presentation on the pagan origins of Christmas and New Year's Eve that continues to change and shifts every single year. But tomorrow we're going to be concentrating on psychedelic mushrooms and how it's connected to Christmas, and then also the calendar, the 30 and 31 day calendar, and how that shifted, and how we have the current calendar today. So that's going to be a very exciting presentation. We have around 600 people registered already on just the Zoom. So on YouTube, it's going to be there. Then following that at 6 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to have a solstice meditation event with Brandon Culleton from Paradigm Shift Central. And that's going to be around 3 hours long. Just a lot of amazing awareness tomorrow. We're just really tapping into the frequency of the solstice energy and just putting out a lot of content tomorrow. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do go ahead and click subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to be notified about our events. And if you want to be notified about everything we do, go to portaltoascension.org and you can sign up there. You also get 3,000 hours of free presentations just by signing up to our website. Last announcement here. The beginning of the year this is the way we're going to start the beginning of the year. We have a walk-ins conference coming up, and it's our second annual walk-ins conference. It's a 2-day event, and it's going to be on January 8th and January 9th, 2022. We have 12 presenters, 3 MCs, which is Alan Steinfeld, Sheila Seppi, and myself over 2 days. And it's just going to be a really beautiful way to just not only activate and start your year, right? We're subtitling this one Time for Activation, but it's also a great way to connect with community. It's a very community-oriented event. There's a place where you can share your, after this event, there's going to be actually follow-up workshops and groups that are free of charge that you can share from a place of vulnerability about your experience, your struggles, your triumphs and challenges, all of those things. So if you'd like to attend this event, go to portaltoascension.org, go to online events. And the panel for this event, every day we're doing a panel, will be free on the YouTube, which is another reason why you should sign up to the YouTube channel. So that's what's coming up, much, much more, but I'll tell you everything else tomorrow. Let's get into today's event. I'm extremely excited, everybody, to be bringing on Nadi once again. And today's event is Interspecies Communication with Whales and Dolphins. And as we just kind of briefly spoke about, is whales and dolphins definitely an understanding within the conscious community about how evolved they are. Everything from, ocean life like whales and dolphins comes from Sirius, to the fact that they can communicate on a level of intellect that is beyond anything that we can even fathom or we've even given them credit to. So we've definitely heard about this concept, right? But today we get to actually go deep into this conversation with Nadi and not only have her present on, whatever information she's going to share with us, but have a discussion, which leads me to telling you everybody this. Everyone on YouTube, I have pinned the Zoom room for this talk right now. So if you look at where at the top where the comment is, where I pinned it, there's actually a Zoom link. So if any of you want to attend the Zoom room and come in and have a conversation with us at the end of this event, please do click on that, especially if you had actual interactions or experiences with whales and dolphins and you want to come and share that. So please do go ahead and join us in the Zoom room. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and hand it over to you, Nadi. Thank you so much for being here. I love you very much. And I just, every time you come and you speak and you convey your energy, I just appreciate it. So I'm glad to be here with you.
Awesome, Neil. Thank you so much. To technical details, we're all set visually. I've got my system dialed in. I think we're going to have some videos.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, great. So I want to thank everyone for joining me today. And I happen to know that we are all dolphins and whales. We are all cetaceans. If you've joined this call today, you are wanting to party with your dolphin family and your whale family. So it's kind of like a homecoming where we get to connect with the consciousness of our whale and dolphin family. So I'm really excited. It's a special opportunity when we get to do this. So what I want to talk about is our multidimensionality. So that's kind of the overarching premise here, is that we focus and we build our connection with whales and dolphins in order to understand ourselves better, understand interspecies communication, and hopefully expand our consciousness to a larger intergalactic community, a larger ability to connect with off-planet species. But it's really important to start with on-planet species, which is where a lot of scientists have promoted the idea of interspecies communication, is to start with the brilliant and genius species on planet, which is whales, dolphins, and there's many, many more. But there's been a lot of scientific study about the intelligence of whales and dolphins. So we're going to look a little bit at both the 3D efforts to learn about the intelligence, but we're also going to listen to some channeled information about the aspects that humans haven't been able to measure. You know, the multidimensional aspects, the galactic aspects, the advanced civilizations connections, right? Sirians, Pleiadians. Those are the things mainstream science has not been able to tap. And if they have, they haven't told us, right? So we're going to cover a broad spectrum of information. And I've also got some videos to really help convey the more subtle realms of the intelligence of the cetaceans. The other thing that I've really been exploring lately is also the consciousness of water, right? It's not necessarily just dolphins and whales. It's that they move in the consciousness of water, which really has its own intelligence. And there's something symbolic and really important to connecting our consciousness with the intelligence of water. And we would refer to that as subconscious, and understanding that when we are connecting with these friends, we are connecting with our hidden, our subconscious, our untapped potential, right? And the invitation is really to actually move from the 3D understanding into broadening out to other dimensions, other capacities, non-linear realities, non-linear ways of communicating. So I'm going to be inviting you to stretch a little bit and tap into your own subtle abilities, your own psychic abilities, that then allow us to perhaps communicate more with other intelligent species that are really here to support us in our evolution as well. So lots of different levels of talking about whales and dolphins, and hopefully really experiencing them, really having a connection with the frequency of unity consciousness, the frequency of love. These are such tremendous beings, and they carry vibrations that are always here. They're always here for us to tap. They are here in support of our evolution, and our evolution is contained within the frequency of love. So I'm hoping that with all this information, you can really walk away with a sense of having connected with that consciousness, a sense of having connected with your own consciousness on a more deeper level, because that really is what the whales and dolphins would love us to do. So a couple of things, a couple of interesting details. I'm going to be referring to channeled information from Lissa Royal Holt, which it's incredible high vibrational information that you're not really going to find in the scientific domain. But she has been able to connect with the Sirian intelligence, Pleiadian intelligence, and so many galactic family that have been influencing our understanding of our aquatic family. I'm going to get into a PowerPoint so that we can start looking at them and connecting with them visually. And I want to do this, and I want to do this. So we can, so I want this to be a remembering also, because our origins are really in our elders, right? Dolphins and whales and their brilliance, they contain the human history. They are the beings that have survived the floods. They are the only beings that have maintained the intelligence of the human history. And no other land mammals can do that. That's why we can look at horses and elephants and cats and dogs. We're not negating their intelligence, but the dolphins and whales are unique in their understanding of this, our civilization across time, and also from the perspective of off-planet civilizations that can really look at us from that larger picture and understand our evolution. So they carry intelligence that is ancient. And there is really something, I want to promote the idea of respecting them, honoring them, coming to them with deep gratitude for the service that they offer humanity. And so a lot of the times, ETs, other civilizations, will encourage contact with others, off-planet civilizations, by encouraging humans to make contact with the species on their planet. So that's part of what we're doing. We're signaling to all civilizations that we understand that there is life beyond human consciousness. We understand that we share an ecosystem. We understand that there is interrelationship and interdependence on this planet. And by doing that, we really support the idea that the interdependence and the interrelationship with other civilizations is vital. So there's really large implications for connecting with whales and dolphins and our cetacean families. We're sending messages that we're starting to understand our multidimensionality and that we are so much more. And we also develop our psychic skills. When you sit and you spend time with whales and dolphins, when you look at images of them, when you go online and just immerse yourself in videos of them swimming and their presence, you are connecting with yourself in new ways. You are connecting with your abilities that they possess, right? So we're trying to step up to a level that they already possess. We're trying to get up to their level. Science has really tried in their best efforts to measure, with these puny, silly devices that can't even register the intelligence. For a long time, we thought that whales and dolphins they weren't communicating. They just had clicks and whistles. And science has expanded to understand the frequency and the hertz, the sound spectrum that dolphins and whales communicate on. And humans are just developing the technology to register their higher frequencies. So we're just catching up. That's the deal. And so there's the understanding of their true capacity from many different angles. And I have a video in a little bit, I hope we get to it, which is the cymatics and the evolution of the cymoscope. And John Stewart, I forget his last name, but he is talking about how we're just learning to see that dolphins communicate holographically, and that you can use the cymoscope to echolocate images that the dolphins are capturing, and then we're learning their language essentially, and they've been patient with us. So I want us to have a little bit of exposure to a channeling from Moria Mother Whale. This is a lovely human who has been channeling whales and dolphins and traveling with them and swimming with them, and really knows their language, really knows about their intelligence. And she basically channels the whale and their messages for humanity. So Neil, if you could cue that up, do I come out of screen share so that you can do that? Let's see, I'm gonna come out so that we can see this video, hoping this.
Got it.
Okay, awesome. Are we, okay, great. Is the video playing? Okay, so it's the other video. It's the first video of Mother Whale. Perfect.
Is a message from Mother Whale. You live in a universe conditioned by and centered around your perceptions and assumptions. All people together create the consensual world, which is a hologram, a three-dimensional picture of great complexity. This holographic illusionary reality is created by everyone as we project our consciousness. Most humans at this time live their lives within the hologram, forgetting that they are creating their own reality. Many have forgotten that we create our own reality. Sometimes you create it consciously, and sometimes you create it unconsciously. My promise to you as an old and ancient whale friend is to help you remember to only be a conscious creator. We, the whales, can shift our realities from one group mind to another, and thereby to another dimension or universe. We know that the places that we dream are real as well, and often travel from one dream to the next, knowing that this energy transfer of our consciousness does not affect our physical reality. Did you know that your mind creates the physical objects in your space? Did you know that space and your attention to the objects within your space create what you call time? Linear time as you know it is not real, only relatively so, as a part of your agreement to use it and move it through your space. From the higher mind and dimensions, time does not exist or pass as you understand it here. Once you understand this, you can overcome the passage of linear time with a strong will and a pure, focused consciousness. A will that is strong enough can overcome time itself. Your world has created a few people who have overcome time. You refer to them as the Eastern sages. You are always producing pictures that make up what you call the world, even the moon and the stars. When we say pictures, we don't just mean what you would call a visual picture. We mean a picture that is a three-dimensional image and that includes all of the senses that you know. Some of you know 5 senses. Some of you know 6 or 7 or even more. But the picture that is called the world is designed to integrate with all of your senses, to include them and to work with them. Your conscious and your unconscious picture production is instant. The vision or picture is then neurologically transferred into your inner image of perhaps a person or a place, a situation or a thing, and therefore that person, place, or thing is within you. And without you, that particular situation would absolutely not exist. Did you know that you are the perceptive center of your entire universe? Without you, the entire universe as you know it would not exist. So, beloved ones, it is truly time to awaken to this great power of creation and claim your divine power to know these truths as real. Part of awakening to the truth is to remember that the only thing of value is created with love. You have known particles of love, atoms of love, sometimes molecules of love. When you understand that love is an ocean, and you have found ways to cooperate with it and never resist it, then you will be and understand your eternal nature as a being that has used your own power to separate out into what we call a photomorphic body. You will then become splendid, pure light. You will become luminescent. You will be transformed. This is your future. We, the whales, are here to accelerate this process for you and within you, as well as in ourselves. In truth, every one of us that has a physical body is a photomorph. We have used our power to form light into a density of sort and to create a holographic image of ourselves. From this place, we decided to live in various temples or habitats for certain periods of time. However, we the whales have no need any longer for an external temple, as the whole world is our home. As far as external books and scrolls, we no longer have the need of those. There was a time when we wrote down our history and language as you do, but now we have evolved where the knowledge and writings are in our hearts and in our minds. We have become prophets, saints, sages, and the wisdom teachers of this world, and we seek now to communicate all of it to you. We live in a deeper level of reality than most of the life forms on Earth, as we understand the creation of the larger picture. We are masters of expanded states of awareness, which include more complex dimensions beyond our own. Within these realms, we see subatomic particles as part of the greater whole, which is holographic and indivisible. We are involved in examining multidimensional pictures that we create, and sometimes co-create with you. We understand how these pictures create your reality on Earth, and we experience these images while awake, and also in our dream time. For us, the line between the two states is very thin. We reside within a peaceful, tranquil, and surrealistic state where we navigate both worlds with grace. We have evolved to know how to keep our minds clear and free of clutter. We have attuned our energy to hear and examine messages from the greater universe. In this way, we can reformulate, reinvent, and recreate reality right here for the greater good. This ability to recreate your reality begins with pure light, which vibrates like music. It has harmonics, just like music, and as whales, we hear it singing to us. Matter dissolves into octaves of light, and this is from the light that is from our Creator. Most human minds are filled with thoughts. Thinking continuously has led to confusion and blocked out the true state of bliss. Many have lost the ability to live and create from their hearts as they continue to exist only from the mind. We do not experience this confusion. We remain as whales in a state of love, living our purest experience from our hearts. In our presence, you can experience this great love, and then it becomes your nature too. This is why you are drawn to us. For that reason, and also because we have a mutual purpose here on Earth. We are all here to be caretakers for this very, very special planet. You are here to preserve and work with the physical matter of this planet and to spiritualize it. We work with the grid lines and the meridians, with energy fields and basic spiritual energy patterns that ensure unity among all life forms. We encourage you to come together with us and use us as an example. As you swim in the ocean and you see our form, realize that these images are not who we are. We are much more. We are interacting with you in a way that is much larger than physical form. We are mirrors of a higher consciousness. We invite you to use our image, this illusion of forms, as a symbol and as a way to connect with the greater universal consciousness. Our physical bodies are here on your planet because your race is currently very focused on physicality. In service to humanity and our own spiritual paths, we created a physical whale form to lead you into non-physical reality. It serves as a symbol for you of our oneness. We are pleased. As you see our whale forms in the ocean, focus on our higher spiritual reality. Move beyond the collective unconscious and ask to enter a state of pure awareness. We will meet you there. It is your home too. It is the place of the whale matrix, the single, vast, connective field of our hearts and minds. It is the place where we harness the power of oneness that spans the galaxies, and we merge with the divine consciousness and become illuminated with pure light. Source has explained to us that much of humanity would become lost and confused by thoughts of separation and duality during this time period on Earth. We were told you would grow and you would develop technology that would potentially overcome you. We knew all of this from the beginning, but we were guided by Source to stay away from the technology on this world, as we have learned the lesson you are learning now, eons ago, on a different planet. So we were guided to watch and wait, all the while developing our own consciousness even further, so that when you begin to remember, we would be here for you. We have weathered the whaling years when humanity did not see us or did not feel us. They did not know of our consciousness and our wisdom. We knew that as we continued to reincarnate, we would hold the light for you in each lifetime, until you developed enough of your own consciousness to move into a positive evolution as a species. This process continues as we focus much of our light into a beam, and then we send it to you, and to various places on the planet that are in need of balance. In this process, we have found beings among you who are very receptive to receive our light. There is an awareness and an expression of heart light between us now, as some of you are truly listening to our wisdom and to our advice. We honor those of you that listen and know they are hearing our communications and receiving our light. In your culture, you are the wise ones. You are the teachers of truth. You are to be honored for the respect and the love that you share with us as your elders. We have begun to influence the development now of your culture without interfering with your sacred freedom. We only beam our light to those who will accept us and are asking to remember more. We will continue to offer this light, which brings us an acceleration. It brings it right into your cells and brings a divine balancing. And so this has been a positive mode of communication for about 10,000 years. Now, more and more people are remembering we the whales as the ancients and the wisdom keepers. We ask that you speak to the other humans about us when you can, and ask everyone to remember that you are the stewards of the garden we call Earth. Humankind has the power to heal or to destroy, and we are hopeful that you will come around and turn your consciousness as a group to the ecology and the well-being of your beautiful Mother Earth. We have a special whale being among us now who does nothing but beam the light of awakening continuously into your buildings and into your homes, into your land, and to your people. We send our light or our beaming to those who will accept the ancient knowledge and those that will choose to share it with others that would listen. Our message is to remind you that our species and yours are related. We are connected through the very DNA, and we are therefore interconnected to the damage or the healing that you will create here on Earth. We are your stewards, and we are your guides. We will continue to amplify our light as we want to be a part of the story of your redemption and healing as humans make a decision to commit to the planet's healing. Stay open, my beloved friends. Know that your human form can receive our communications through light. Trust that you can communicate with us in a way that serves your gifts. We are both here to work together for the greater good. Absorb our light, and now beam it out to others, and we will be partners in this amazing mission here on Earth. Beloveds, we are the great humpback whales, and we promise you that we will never leave you. We are your family, and you are dearly loved. Namaste.
All right, so now I'm back. Great. So I love that message so much. It really encapsulates everything that I want to share about the consciousness of whales. So to build on some of what the whales were talking about, everyone here, if you're tuning into this call, or if you swim with the whales, or you've swum with the dolphins, or you've had experiences with our cetacean friends, you are an ambassador. You are speaking the consciousness and the love frequencies that the whales carry. They are moving on such subtle realms. These are very sophisticated beings, and they're working through us. So when we spend some time with them, when we watch them in the water or listen to their songs, we are activating our higher potential. So this call, it's like, okay, we're looking at whales and dolphins, but really we're activating ourselves. We are tapping into the true nature of our ability to be of service to this planet, to our waterways, to ourselves and our evolutionary process. It's like, this is such a big deal to hang out with whales and dolphins. It's like your own wisdom, your intelligence knew that being with them today would take you to another level. That's how amazing they are. And consider them as contact specialists. These are interspecies. These are off-planet contact specialists. These are the ones that, if we start to understand them as these extraordinary beings, we are demonstrating the ability for building relationships. So that's what I want to do. Is I want you to shift. I invite you to shift your awareness. Like, we're looking at these beautiful 3D images, right? And we are, is my screen sharing? I want to invite everyone to consider the switch, right? Consider the flip from looking at them in the 3D to looking at their 3D bodies as aliens, right? Like, what if we were to look at whales and dolphins as the extraterrestrials that they may actually be, right? So it's a whole shift in paradigm from thinking about beings as separate to interpreting them as connected to higher consciousness, and building the bridge to our galactic community, building the bridge to the Sasani and the Pleiadians and the Syrians, who they're like directly embodied. You could look at a whale and say, oh, that's a Pleiadian, because they came to help us, but they realized that we couldn't really kind of receive or appreciate or understand what their true purpose was. Oh God, I've never done that before. So as we're talking about expanding into understanding the whales and dolphins on more subtle levels, we are moving past linear cognition and empirical data-based interpretations and understanding. And what I want to invite is an expansion of your feeling self, an expansion of your heart. So as we're talking about them, see if you can drop into a body sensation or a feeling sensation when you see them. And so I want to introduce this branches us off into a slightly different subject, but it's all related, because as we are moving into these subtle senses, into these other realms of knowing, we are connecting with the higher frequencies, right? We are connecting with light and sound and our ability to hear the subtle frequencies and communicate on like vibrational realms. We're bypassing our need to know. We're stepping into our intuitive, our feeling wisdom. And so the dolphins and whales actually communicate through sound. Well, we know sound, but light. I think Lori referred to some of the holographic nature of their connections and their abilities. So the dolphins and the whales, they have codes, they have light codes. They communicate in light and sound and codes that actually trigger our evolutionary process, right? I'm just kind of saying the same thing in a bunch of different ways, but by connecting with these codes, we are literally turning on our DNA. We are tapping into the programmed latent intelligence that is coming online now, that, you know, star seeds, light language, frequency music, sound healing, so many techniques for activating ourselves. So you can see the dolphins here, and someone who has interpreted their language as encoded and is sharing this information, these visual stimulus, these visual activations. So as you're working with dolls and whale fins, awesome. Whales and dolphins, you say it enough times, you're going to transpose something. As you're working with the visual, again, know that they are communicating on so many more levels. Like what if a dolphin was actually sending you this code as you are listening to their sounds? What if there is so much contained in their calls that we haven't been able to measure? We don't understand. And I'll segue into just a little bit about our attempts to understand, which I think is really fascinating, because, you know, these are the really subtle realms that humans, like I said, are just expanding into. But in the early 60s, there were a lot of scientific efforts pioneered by John Lilly to understand the intelligence of dolphins. And I have to say, I'm a little bit sad, because as I understand it, Lilly employed a bunch of not so great techniques to really understand the dolphin's intelligence, but he did share some information that we've built on. So I'm going to pause that video. So, and I'm going to leave ours on the code so we can continue to take in the information. Come on, go back. There we go. So the SETI program, right? The Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and the Order of the Dolphins, which is a legitimate organization that scientists came together because they created it because they were so excited about the potential of dolphin intelligence. So you've got the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and you've got the Order of the Dolphins, and you've got John Lilly really, you know, exploring the intelligence and the capacities of dolphins. And this was all right around the Cold War era. This is what I really started to put together, is when we talk about the cetacean consciousness, we're talking about the field, we're talking about the grid, and this invisible communication. And so you had this era in human history where they were developing nuclear technology, which really could have destroyed everything, although the ETs were going to intervene. So, you know, likely not. But there was this emergence simultaneously with the information that could have destroyed us, as well as understanding dolphins and whales, and the information that could actually help us move into a new realm, into a new expanded ability, as a new human. And so they were trying their best as, you know, researchers, and they really believed there was almost a cult following of the dolphins, and they actually believed that studying them could be the salvation of humanity. And it's so beautiful because you have this balance of the salvation and the destruction. And they really promoted the idea that connecting with dolphins was really the step towards understanding ourselves better and connecting with off-planet species, right? So you've got SETI and the search for intelligence off-planet, and then you've got the dolphins, and it was this beautiful merging where some of us started to go, oh, maybe it's right here in front of us, and maybe it's just us that needs to understand what's going on. So I think I want to pass up this little video that I have, but we'll come back to it, I hope. What it is a light language transmission that communicates the subtle realms of dolphin speak, essentially, but I'm not sure we're there yet. So I'm going to go past it and we'll see. I'm so nonlinear. It's really hard to have limited progression of slides. So where do we want to go next? So I mentioned the light language, and I want to go into that a little bit more because I believe that this is really kind of the best way to take in the dolphin frequencies. We've got a little bit of the intelligence and the information from the mother whale transmission. But as I was saying, there is so much more to their ability to communicate. And the best way I found is through light language, which is, some of you are familiar with it, I'm sure, but it's encoded, nonlinear communication. So it doesn't sound like words that we recognize, and it carries frequencies. So it's this perfect match of the dolphins that carry frequencies, the whales and their song, and their ability to bypass our cognition. So I think I do want to go into this. I think this is a little bit next level, but many of you work on these levels, so I know it's somewhat familiar. And if it's brand new, I'm so honored to be introducing you to one of the modalities of galactic communication, right? When we're talking about light language, we're typically receiving channeled information from higher dimensional realities that are wanting to come through us, but they don't speak English. There's no like human translation for what's coming through. And it really is energetic frequency activating information. So again, like with mother whale, this is information that came through a channel who speaks dolphin, who is connected to that higher Syrian, Pleiadian, Sasani consciousness that we can receive. It's much like a dolphin song. It's much like a whale song. And so this is a woman, her name is Jennifer Jones Warble, and it's just a little 5-minute video. So this is dolphin and whale speak with some light language images. So this can be really powerful. And I want to encourage everyone to take some nice deep breaths, let yourself sit into a nice relaxed position to receive in a non-linear way. So don't try to make sense of this. See if you can simply receive the frequencies of the dolphins. So this one actually plays for me, Neil, so we'll be fine. And here we go. I want to play this. Zoom, hopefully. So here we go. And I want to encourage you to minimize if you have anything in your screen, get it out of the way so you can do full screen here. I'm going to trust that my video is playing and everything's going to come through well. So
Nadi, did you click share computer audio when you share screen?
I don't know that I did specifically. So you're not, it's pretty quiet at first. Do you want to try?
I'm hearing it, but it sounds like it's coming through your speakers. So click share screen again.
Okay.
And at the bottom, click share sound. Well, before you share the screen. So go back, click share screen. And then at the bottom, this is share sound.
I don't have that.
So don't click share screen until you click share sound. So click the green button, share screen. Okay.
Yeah.
And then where all the windows are, at the bottom, there's 2 options, share sound and optimize for video clip.
You know, my Zoom changed and it didn't give me that anymore. So
what do you see right now?
When I highlight share screen, it doesn't give me, it doesn't give me the choices for which screen do I want to show. It just goes right into my screen.
So when you click share screen, it goes right into it?
Yeah.
I don't even know how that's possible. Okay, well, I think yes, that way we're not going to hear the full audio. We're just going to hear it from your speakers, which is kind of like distorted.
Okay. Well, I think that might be the best way that we have. I don't know.
Try it out. Let's see.
Okay, yeah, let's give it a try. If it's really not good, then let me know. We'll do the best we can here. Oh, but now I don't have audio. Oh, this is great. So here we are with our communication. All right. How about that? Maybe that's better. Is audio coming through, Neil?
Yeah, I'm trying to listen. It just cuts out every now and then because it's coming from your speakers, but it's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, now we don't hear anything.
It's just water, so it's not. It's only you'll hear the sounds in a minute. She's not talking yet. Can you hear her?
Yes.
Sumarata Isha Avosarikian Isha Brianana Kia Brina Sata. Oh, Asai Shakana Telekayu Sheki Ashu Avita Alu Ayehi Nakaku Areteo Tayakashu Sana Kayete Kak New Suesha Kai Hook and the Kia. Enea kakaya kuna kikia di kikiaya yoku. Enea kakaya kako ati. Akomo sakia de kia akakayo. Shama saki ashai ko kawishi akakai kita kakao noku. Ikika eko nikike okash. Sakia kakusha kai guka kia takai kaka. Ikik yes kuna kikis kaku. Arite te kuko kekeus. Arite kuko kumi ish. Anasai keke uko akash. Sasatiki ki. Alate upa eteki akakai kagana sukukoshi. Ayeki aakika. Avokuka batike ki nikiki. Ayetete ko asheni sikiki shikakai ko kaniki. Aprutete tu kuku pekati poko ko shi ake kuku kaka tikiki ko azumara kakai kuku avati kakai putu te pedu fafa avasita ka nishaka ishaka aku ela kiki ake shikuku aprutete nu tayo ba avase kuwe Anasuna today, today, shuku bye. Oh, nanadera, dera, kia, dera, sahash. Oh, asahe, to tushe. Rate, kiki, sutu, sakashi. Anikia, shiki.
Take a nice deep breath. See if you can feel.
Amasita nikia suku alero sapane kishi jikore tera suku maratana sareti siti sikuta rusani wush Afrito naka shiki ete te ushamanana siriki nakai. Alara sarete nikure nisha. Alishau ku. Alayesha ke tena sakumera tina kaiki. Arite. Alaso manasha ikis. Ashe lupa etu ku. Ayetona she ish. Akashun kasha. Abrita de osa. Kwe te kayo kuka ni kia suku sapanya. Aite no shuri ke shishe shashu. Ala tenu ishe nako. Abara sara tenu ke ita naka. Are tenu ku ushe pe iti isha. Alaru tare ki abash. Natara satu.
So let's just pause for a moment. I want to invite you to take a breath, maybe close your eyes, find your way to an internal focus to see if you notice anything, see if that experience brought any awareness up, activated any kind of feeling, because the whales are transmitting and communicating through our hearts, through our subtle bodies. And they're encouraging us to connect that way. So I am excited to connect with everyone in YouTube or in the Zoom and have people come on and share any experiences that you've had with whales or dolphins. So that will definitely be a part of things in a little bit. I love hearing what brings people, what calls people to the whales. So we will do that at the end, which is not far away, but I really do want you to have some full immersion into the different aspects, into the different experiences of whales and dolphins. Before we do that, I feel like I'm a little bit affected by the transmission there, light language. If that was your introduction, or if you're familiar with it, light language is very activating on all of our different levels. And so every time I watch that, I just feel very turned on, and I look forward to hearing if anyone had any experiences with that transmission. So I want to say a couple more things, and then I actually want to finish by giving us a couple minutes with the whales, and just as if we were swimming with them and having an experience with them. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I really encourage everyone to go online and find videos, find opportunities and ways to be with the whales, and listen to their songs, because you will be connecting with the larger field of consciousness, connecting with love and unity consciousness. And there is such a need right now. It is so important. Again, it's not just about watching whales. It's about activating the love and an understanding that we are balancing out some of the darker forces right now. It's an experience of offering ourselves of service, connecting with the whales and the dolphins that are of service to us, and then connecting to the higher dimensional realms and the other ET civilizations that are here of service. You know, we are supported beyond what we even know, you know, that they're working with us on our subtle realms that we're not even connected to. So this is really helping us expand into everything that we know. You know, the potential, the capacity of them is really demonstrated in the sperm whale brain, right? Our brain weighs like 2 pounds, and the sperm whale brain weighs about 39 pounds. And that's sort of a silly little detail, but it is, they are the keepers of the records. And those brains are solely for the purpose of transceiving, is not the word. Yeah, they're transceivers. They are receivers of the information, and they are then taking that higher intelligence and transmitting it, as we heard, in a holographic fashion that is contributing to the larger collective intelligence, and we're tapping that when we begin to understand how extraordinary they are, the multidimensional communication. So all of this is really, we're expanding into new concepts that maybe we understand, maybe we don't. So it is kind of a leap of faith and a knowing that these realities are true and that we are, we're opening. The whales would like us to open, and we are opening. So I think those are some of the details. And I want to just close us out with about, I don't know, it's like 8 minutes of really full immersion into the world of whales, and to swim with them essentially as best as we can from the land here. And so, Neil, that second video that you started to play is the immersion into an experience with them. So can you bring that on and play it for us? And then we'll all come together to see if people have experiences they want to share. I'm hoping you're there with the video. Great, thank you. you want to pause it now? I think we'll stop. Awesome. Thank you. So a couple more things. I realized I really would like to share with everybody the cymatics and the information about the holographic communication that dolphins use. So I think we will go into that. But I was so inspired watching the whales. I hope that was like a homecoming for everyone. I could spend hours with them. And they reminded me of the power of the whale's eyes. So if you can find a way to just pause and feel the contact of what they're seeing and what they're communicating through their eyes, I highly encourage that. I was in a very multidimensional dream state where I was breathing underwater. I was some part of like an aquatic ambassadorship, and I was just swimming as fast as I could, just playing in the water, and I just like stopped short, and there was this huge whale, and this whale eye like right at me, and just completely transmitted this huge amount of information to me. And I look forward to seeing if anybody else has ever had any kind of experience with that. But it needs to be mentioned, sadly, that we really have desecrated the whale populations in all the different species. There's a lot of different whale types, and we almost wiped out the sperm whale, and fortunately they've survived. But anytime that you're looking into our cetacean family, it has to be acknowledged that we have treated them very badly. And so my heart breaks when we go into this conversation. But what I've come to understand is that because they are existing on so many levels, anytime that we make this effort, anytime that we connect with them and we say thank you for what you're doing, they are beyond time and space. They receive that information, and our appreciation and gratitude is so much more powerful, remarkably, than what we've done on the physical plane. So just know that, thank goodness for Greenpeace and all of the pioneers that have gone out and fought the whaling ships. They have done incredible work, and we can be quiet in our meditations and connect with the whales, and they will feel it, and that will contribute to the healing of the waters, to our to our relationships with all species, right? It's so powerful when we stop and pause and connect with them. Again, just the multiple layers. And so here we are in this like dreamy whale space, but I do want to add one more piece of cognitive interpretation of their intelligence. And we're going to look at John Stewart Reed's brief review of their holographic communication. We're a little video heavy here, but there's so much to share. I mean, I have thousands others that I could share with you about research and the how we're building our relationships and the successful connections. But we'll just go into a little bit of the fascinating world of cymatics. And so I'm really hoping, I've played this video before, so I'm thinking that it'll work out just fine here, Neil. So let me try to get to it. It's somewhere down in the bottom, in the non-linear bottom of my there it is, my PowerPoint. So we're gonna go for this. Oh, look at what we've done. Oh, I'm so non-linear. Okay, we'll start from the slide. That's what we wanted. So is this, right, I think this is the whole thing. Okay, and we're gonna start it up here.
Morning, everyone. And you can see the crests of the waves at the moment before Faraday they're collaborating with the analogs of the input frequencies. Now, the last part of the talk concerns dolphin holographic echolocation of various objects. We're collaborating with a wonderful guy in Florida called Jack Kasowitz, who works with dolphins on a daily basis.
Can everybody hear that?
Jack
Neil?
had this idea, I think it was 2011, originally when we first did this work, to task a dolphin to use its echolocation beam on a number of submerged objects. So he had 8 objects in the water, There was the flower pot that you see here. There was a plastic cross. There was a plastic duck, a square, a cube, a ball, and so on, other different objects. He then tasked the dolphin to echolocate on each, and then he had a hydrophone to pick up the reflected signal from those objects. He recorded very high-end audio. I mean, you're talking 150 kilohertz audio equipment, which is really high-end. Recorded it, and then he played back the sounds, those same sounds, to the dolphin, and tasked the dolphin to pick out which object relates to which sound. And the dolphin was able to do that with an 86% accuracy, which is quite astonishing. And what it meant was that the dolphin actually was seeing sound in these reflections from the speaker that he put into the water. Then he had the brilliant idea of taking these objects and his sound equipment and going to a different dolphin facility 2 hours away by car, put the objects in the water, speaker in the water, played the sounds to this new dolphin, and the new dolphin was able to also identify the objects with the same high accuracy or similar high accuracy. Again, kind of proving the point that the dolphin is literally seeing these sound images somehow. Anyway, so then what he did was he knew about my work. He came on the phone to me one day and he said, I wonder what would happen if we put these sound files, these literally wave files, into your Cymoscope, John. I said, I haven't got a clue, Jack, but let's try it. So he sent me these files on email. And the first one that we did was literally the flower pot. I put the flower pot sound file into the Cymoscope and I saw the flower pot. And I was absolutely flabbergasted. How could this possibly be? You can even see the hand that's holding the flower pot in the water, you see? So it's an astonishing thing. I mean, we obviously haven't got much time here to go into it in depth. There's a bigger image of that flower pot and the hand. And because we believe that the dolphin has the ability to actually change the angle of its beam, there's a cutoff point where the rest of the arm, if you like, that's holding the hand is not seen. So anyway, that we did that work in 2011 and a lot of other objects besides. I don't think we're going to have time to go into, we haven't got time to go into these. No, okay, we'll just rattle through this. And I was going to show you the difference between imaging an object with light and imaging it with sound. Go this way. There was the cube, the dolphin. There's a cube. You can see the cube image very clearly. I mean, it is astonishing. So you're going to ask me, I'm sure, well, what's the mechanism behind that? And we have got some theories, but we haven't got it fully worked out yet. But we think we have some of the answers. This is the big thing that happened quite recently, a few months ago, that Jack thought had this, again, wonderful idea. Let's put a whole man in the water. And what he wanted to do was to task the dolphin to come up to the man and literally echolocate on his face. He said, John, I think you might find there's a face in this file. Well, we put the file into the Cymoscope, and lo and behold, we didn't see a face. What we saw was a whole man. So you can see the man on the left there, and then on the right-hand side, there's a computer-enhanced version of that same image. Again, we were flabbergasted because I really didn't think that would be possible. And I got on the phone to Jack and said, Jack, you said there would be a face. There was no face. There was the whole man. He said, oh, John. Anyway, I'm not going to try and do his accent, but he basically was very excited as we were. What had happened was, as the dolphin was swimming in towards Jim, submerged Jim, it obviously took a snapshot at that moment as he was approaching the full man, as it were, and therefore we got the full image of Jim. And later, Jack was able to turn that file into a 3D plastic print of Jim under the water. So that was fun. But what this all proves, if I can just quickly conclude, it proves that the dolphin is actually seeing with sound, because clearly the earlier experiments had shown that. And now we're actually seeing, it means that the reflections from these objects, the dolphin echolocation reflections, are carrying data that can literally be turned back into images. The dolphin does it, obviously. And now we are doing it with the Cymoscope, even though we don't understand the mechanism fully yet. But clearly there is a mechanism, and it's exciting, and it's something that we will be exploring in the future. So there was a video.
Okay. So that was the last piece of sharing in trying to communicate, the intelligence, right? Like John is sitting there saying, we're just barely able to understand. Like we've just developed the cymoscope, which I forgot to mention is the technique of measuring frequency in form, right? So they're taking the sound and they're creating form with all the different objects. I mean, that is amazing. And then I hadn't caught that before, that when the dolphin sees the man, they're actually able to take a 3D representation, and they made a 3D model of what the dolphin was seeing. So all of it is to say something that we already know. We know that there is, dare I say, superior intelligence here. And when we realize that, we are elevating our own intelligence. And I feel like I've said the same thing 10 different ways, but overall, this idea of how much more we are, how much more we have to tap into, the dolphins and the whales and many of the cetaceans are here to assist us. So that's kind of my overview of our cetacean friends. And my hope is that somehow this has expanded you. Somehow you are a little more connected with your heart. Maybe you're feeling a little more in your body, and you're tapping into the new levels of your own genius. We are so much more than we know. The dolphins and the whales are so much more than we know. So I think, Neil, at this point, like if there's questions or sharings from the YouTube, or if anybody wants to come onto the Zoom, Neil can invite you as a panelist, and then you could ask some questions. Or what I would love is share any experiences that you've had with whales or dolphins, so we can just anchor it in our storytelling here. Neil, are you there that we could do some of that?
Yes, I am. And we have some people in the Zoom room. So whoever's here right now, I'm going to set you as a panelist in this moment. And please do click accept if you want to come on, engage with us. You don't have to, and you don't have to use your camera if you just want to do audio too. So again, I'm going to go ahead and select you as panelist here. And for anybody in the YouTube, a few different places, I put the Zoom link. If you want to come and join in on Zoom, go ahead and do so. And right now, we have Joan and Tomo on with us. Nadi, if you want to start out with them. Joan, if you want to maybe jump on, do you want to share anything, how you feel, any experiences?
Hi, Joan.
There we go. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. That was awesome.
Oh, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. I took a class from you years ago in Portland. And I just wanted to say that I totally resonate that these beings are really of higher dimensions than us. And yeah, I've been a big scuba diver for almost 30 years. And it was the time when I saw a gray whale just looking, and I was in the boat still. A gray whale was just looking at me with his eye, and it just really penetrated my whole soul. And so, yeah. I actually just moved down to Mexico because of wanting to be closer to the ocean and to these beings. And so I was fortunate last week, kind of looking for the marlins scuba diving or snorkeling, that a humpback whale brought her baby mother to us. And yeah, she stayed with us and just circled around. So it was like, yeah, it was this feeling of just, they're so, I don't know, first of all, they're just so maternal and just so proud of their beings. I've seen that with dolphins, that they'll just bring their little baby dolphin around, just kind of like showing it off, wanting you to see and wanting to connect with you. There's nothing more than seeing a little baby, right? That kind of makes you feel this unconditional love. So when you played those videos and stuff, I really, really felt that connection. And I also just think there's so much, like you say, that we can learn from them. So they're here to support us and to show us so much. Dolphins have really showed me how to be more playful in the world, not take everything seriously. And so they are masters of that. We have a lot to learn. So anyway, that was what I wanted to share, and really appreciate all that you put into this, both of you. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so great to hear. I didn't know about the maternal, almost, that not pride are silly words, that generous gift of sharing their sort of most precious. I've never made that connection, but for her to share her baby with, that's an amazing experience. Wow.
Yes, and I was watching, I saw that both in the dolphins as well as the humpback, where then when they're so young, they need to be taken up to learn to breathe. So it's just, and everybody takes turn, in the dolphin community, it looks like more people, help with that. But of course, with the whales, they're just so devoted to their young and this unconditional love. So yeah, I just see them and my heart expands. And I don't know, I believe that's the way to raise consciousness, is first through ourselves. So if we can be in that state of love, that's how we're raising the vibrations. So that's where I kind of moved to where my bliss is, to be in the ocean, which is like you said, is such a subconscious kind of a diving deep into oneself, but really kind of like in the womb of creation when you're in the ocean, is how I feel. So yeah. So anyway, I miss everybody in Portland, but I love it here.
Oh my gosh, that's just such brilliant motivation for your passion and to connect with the waters and the oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you get to do that. And what a contribution. I absolutely agree. It's like, that's part of my passion about sharing with them is we raise our vibration. I couldn't obviously agree more. And that is, we're coming up to their level, but we really are balancing out some of the density that's happening. And it's just by being, we actually just carry that essence, that frequency when we connect with them, which is why I love to show the videos, right? We've just actually elevated our consciousness by connecting with them.
It's so true. And I find too, if I don't do this kind of stuff following it, my ability to help in other ways, on a more physical level of raising consciousness, is depleted. And, every time I've just kind of tried, I got to help save save the plant, right? It doesn't need our saving. We need to change our consciousness and that'll work. But every time I've kind of gone more just on the do list of trying to contribute, the more I depleted I get. And then I kind of burn out and realize this. So that's again why I moved to a place where I could fully fill myself up, so I have more to give, I guess, is the message.
No, it's beautiful. And English is just ridiculous, right? Like, we're doing our best to communicate these really nuanced elements, but there's also a reprogramming, right? That's part of why I kind of keep repeating it, is because for us to shift, and this is no diminishing of the frontline folks who are out in the boats and out, and raising the money, which we all, try to contribute as much as we can. But the physical reality of support is limited. We are bound by time and space. We are in these physical bodies. If we're blessed enough to go to the waters, that's wonderful amplification. But it is a reprogramming to understand that meditating and connecting in the field, connecting through consciousness, is just as effective, if not a little more, in terms of its far-reaching abilities, right? We're not restricted to local application. So it's part of understanding that we are so much larger, and we are so powerful. I'm only saying everything that we know. I'm just bringing the whales in to help us. It's another, they are excited. They're excited. They're here. And thank you so much, Joan. I'm wondering if you, or if anybody had an experience with the light language and that transmission, because that is kind of next level. It's like some, if you haven't been exposed to it, it's like, what is that? But again, we don't speak whale. We're doing the best to get the information. So Any thoughts, or anybody also in the YouTube world want to jump in with that? How was that? Go for it. Did you have anything, Jonah? And it's totally fine if it didn't even register. There's
Okay.
yeah.
Monopolize the whole call. No, yeah, it's interesting because I have this, I believe in this connection to Lemuria and everything, and I don't know some of that language that was going on there as well, but yeah, it just vibrates in my heart. Like you said, I think it transcends our consciousness or our interpretation of the brain of words and things like that. And so, yeah, it felt really good. Don't know exactly what's happening, but trust that I do believe sound so much does transform the DNA and activate things. So, yeah, so I kind of thought, yeah, that felt really good. So
we'll go with it, right? So it was a new experience, but you're spot on. It doesn't quite make sense, but it speaks to other aspects of ourselves. And I love it if I introduce light language to some people. Keep in mind that another aspect of new levels of consciousness are synchronicities and alignments with images that come from our higher selves, guiding us and showing us that we're on the right track, right? So don't be surprised if in your dream time, the whales are showing up, or if you notice synchronicities and they show up on the 3D. It's really, really potent in that liminal space before you're going to sleep. You could actually ask to have dreams about whales, and they will come to you because they move on that subconscious level, right? So thank you so much, Joan. It's so good to see you again, and you're moving to the waters and amplifying your passion is really the most powerful way. So thank you. Neil, do we have any other questions or any thoughts or experiences with whales or experiences of that light language?
Yeah, we have with Thomas. I'll just read what Thomas said. He just said thank you. His mic, he doesn't have a micro camera set up, but he just said thank you for a wonderful session. We have a few camera shy people in the room too, so they don't want to jump on. So no one really in particular right now. Again, if anybody on YouTube wants to jump in, go ahead and do so. Lisa, Teresa, if you guys want to jump in too, here's one more chance to do so right here. And I'll just say that I've always wanted to swim with the dolphins, and they have it in Yucatan. I was going to do it last time, but I'm actually going to go like in 3 to 4 weeks. I just figured it'd be a really nice experience. And my friend posted some pictures. It was the biggest smile I've ever seen her ever have before, just like being with the dolphins and just the energy of it, So I'm excited to do that. And it's kind of like, I feel going to be like therapeutic for myself.
Yeah. Well, I know that I sent the Zoom link to a bunch of my friends who have passions for whales and dolphins. So I know that the transmission is happening, even if we're not all talking in our little boxes. But you reminded me, Neil, they have not doing experiments, but they've had so many experiences of birthing humans, babies with dolphins, and the transition and the ease that they support, however they do. It's all kind of a mystery how they're working with us. Right. And then also so many organizations that help autistic children, kids that are what I believe operating on multidimensional levels that our 3D doesn't understand. And they bring them and they swim with the dolphins, and their whole systems are more able to align to the 3D, and they're a little more able to function. So that's another really fascinating use of their intelligence. It happens a lot in a lot of places. So.
That's awesome. Have you ever seen the video of Mariah Carey communicating with dolphins?
No. Oh my God.
Yeah, watch it. It's like they look each other in the eyes and they know something's up, and then she sings something and it responds to her.
No, thank you. That's fabulous. All right. Well, Mariah just stepped up in my world. Awesome. Well, great. I feel like if we're complete, I've certainly shared the breadth of my knowledge and everything that I would want to share with people. And I'm just so grateful that people are on the call and that we're, elevating our consciousness together. That's what's happening. So
definitely. I'm just reading the comments here. Maybe I can read out a few of the comments in the YouTube, because we have quite a lot of people interacting. Okay, here we go. Jenny says, indeed, loving nurturing transmissions, whales and dolphins. Shania says, wow, I heard they're using them to blast stones instead of people's bodies with sonar. Dolphins are so healing. Let's see.
So great.
Yeah, just a bunch of beautiful comments. So, all right, yeah, if you want to close out or leave us with any final words or whatever you want to share with us, let's wrap this up then, yeah?
Yeah, you know what I would like to say is that I do a lot of other calls like this. I am really dedicated to exploring all of the mechanisms and opportunities to assist us in our multidimensionality and our expansion, because that's really vital. That's what we're all of service, you know. And so you can find me online. I have my my website, which is Galactic Rose Geometry. Is that right? I think that's right. And then I also have a YouTube channel, because I've just been really blessed to do so many panel discussions and interviews with amazing pioneers in the study of crop circles and the ET human hybridization program and sacred geometry. I have so many offerings that I would love to share with you. I host calls and classes so that we can basically find each other and geek out on all of these different ways to connect with our higher capacities. So please do reach out. I would love to get together and basically support each other in this strange reality that we find ourselves. Like, much easier to hang out with the whales and dolphins than it is with humans sometimes. So we don't want to be avoidance, but we have to be here in this third dimension. But it gets easier the more we tap into our true selves, our true nature as eternal and genius beings. So please, I would love to meet you. I'm so glad that you all have been on this call. It's an honor. I know we spend so much time on the screen. So thank you. I look forward to more with you, with all of my tribe. And thank you, Neil, so much. I love doing these things with you.
Me too. I love doing it with you too. Thank you so much, Nadi. And I just want to second what Tomo just said right there. It's such a beautiful and inspiring presentation and transmission. Deep gratitude, much love and blessings. Beautiful, serene energy just to tap into that frequency for the last couple of hours. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Okay, so we're closing out now, everybody. And just a reminder that tomorrow there are multiple events on the YouTube channel. We're going to start 10 a.m. Pacific with a walk-ins event. We're going to go with the pagan origins of Christmas and New Year's Eve at 2:30 Pacific. And then we have a 3-hour solstice broadcast at 6 p.m. So go ahead and subscribe, or click the Zoom registration link that I just put in the chat there. Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot one thing, that my YouTube channel, how to get it. It's Galactic Rose Geometry as well. So do check that out, alongside Portal.
So that's all one word, Galactic Rose Geometry?
Yeah. That's the YouTube channel. I mean, it's just amazing people I've gotten to talk to, and Neil being on your panels. I mean, I love your discussions. I'm so looking forward to the walk-ins and the star seeds and the hybrids. It's amazing what you're doing, my friends.
Thank you so much. Really, I feel really blessed to just be able to live my passion and to do it full time. It's pretty awesome.
Totally.
All right, so everybody, I just put Nadi's YouTube link into the chat. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and click over there and tune into other transmissions as well. For everybody watching this in the future, it'll be in the description. And that's it from us here at Portal to Ascension. Love you all so much. Thank you for all being here, and have a beautiful night. Thank you, Nadi.
Thank you, Neil.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.